Good morning from the garden. It's almost summer solstice, the longest day of the year. And from now on, the days are going to get shorter. But I wanted to show you my garden and how it's good doing right now. To give you perspective, we are in northern Utah, zone 6B, and we are in high desert, probably around 4,600 feet in elevation. And so this is what's growing in my garden. This is my red delicious apple tree. I got the tree from Costco on sale for $10 last year. And this is how much it's grown now. Now, last year it's probably about this tall. Now it's grown. That's good. And with me, I never leave bare patches of dirt. So around the tree, I've also planted some herbs. Now, this is garlic chives. I think they call it nira in Japanese. I'm not sure. But so I like using chives because I make my own kimchi. So I use garlic chives. But this is probably going to be used in the winter, towards the winter when I make my kimchi. This is sage. I like to use this with squash dishes. And this is my Greek oregano. This is probably my used herb in the house. We love Greek and Mediterranean food in general. I use it for soups and even salad dressings and all those kinds of stuff. Now, just like what I said, if you are a starter gardener, herbs are probably the way to go. They're easy, especially perennial herbs. You plant them once and they grow back every single year. They also don't need a dedicated space. They can grow underneath a tree, just like what I'm doing here. So it's a very space saving but very productive plant that you can add to your garden. Now on this area right here, so just to give you perspective, when we moved into the house, we got this property in August of 2024. This was all bare. It's just lawn right here. So everything that you see around this place is I've dug and planted by myself and established a garden. So I have my grapes right here. It's not growing so good, but I forgot the name of the grapes, but that's a grape. I want to add more Concord grapes so we can make juice from. And then I have a row of tomatoes and beans. There's some peppers in here, but they got eaten by roly-polies. And then I planted a new batch of, these are American hazelnuts. Making my own hazelnut spread, aka Nutella at some point. I've also planted beans, interplanted beans around here. This is bean right here. And I got faba beans, which I am growing for our dear old friend who loves faba beans. And another hazelnut. And this hazelnut I thought was dead because the top part, I got it as bare root. So they came just like a little stick with roots. And I planted this early in March, but it didn't grow leaves like on the top like this other two. This one actually revived itself from the bottom. Look at that. It's growing from the bottom. So if you have a plant, if you planted a bare root tree that did not sprout yet from the top, wait for it. Don't pull it out yet. It might just grow from the bottom, although it does not work if you have a grafted tree. This one, it's not a graft. So that is a hazelnut. Okay, now on this side yard right here, I got some, I'm not sure what kind of squash that is, or pumpkin. And there is a lemon balm on the side right there that I'm trying to establish. I got a bunch of, these are black raspberries. I also got them the same time I got the hazelnuts. So these are black raspberries. I planted them in early March and it already is giving me fruit. This is the old This is the old stalk. So this is the summer fruiting. This is an ever-bearing variety. And this new stalk that's growing out from the ground right here is gonna give me my fall harvest. This one has a bigger one. Now, I usually interplant. I do not just plant one variety in rows. I interplant as much as I can because it helps maximize the use of a space, also keeps the weeds down. This is an an overgrown spinach. Well, just gonna save it for seeds right now. So it is already forming seeds right here. I'm just gonna wait for it to turn brown, and then I'm gonna seed the seeds from that. These are more faba beans in the back. I also, I'm planning to establish a rhubarb patch on this corner right here, but then I also got some beans growing, so I just want the beans to grow on this side. I got onions everywhere. I also have a bunch of peppers growing. If you've watched our older video, I made a video in this area in the early spring when it was still cold and barely anything was still growing. Do you remember how the onions look? So these were my onions from last year, which didn't really grow that much. And so I just left them on the ground. And this spring, look at them. So if you've never seen an onion bloom, this is what they look like. I've had several neighbors look through my garden and say, "What is that thing that looks very pretty?" And surprise, surprise, it's just onions. Now, onions are beloved by insects. It's because it's one that this clump is actually not just one flower, it's a whole bunch of flowers in one stalk. So I think insects love that. There's bees all over the place. And then they just love that to land on those clumps of flowers. And I also got my row of garlic here that already needs to be harvested. And then I also planted some dent corn. These are heirloom Indian varieties. Other one is green Hopi, I think. And this is blue. I am not sure. I forgot the name. But this is blue and green. I make my own tortillas. I make pupusas. I make so many different things. So I am hoping that I could grow my own dent corn that I can make into tortillas at some point. Speaking of perennials, this perennial fruit or berry that I've established last year is one thing that I'm very proud of and very happy with. This is called Royalty Purple Raspberry. I planted these from little 2-inch plugs. Like the plant is just like this size last year. And look at how much it had grown this year and how much fruit it had put out. My daughter and I had been eating. It's about 1 or 2 a day, but that's enough for us. This is actually just the these are the stalks from last year. So this is the summer crop, and these tall stalks, tall, sturdy, and very thorny, these are the ones that are gonna give us the fruits in the fall, which is hopefully a bigger harvest than the summer one. This is called Royalty Purple Raspberry. There's one ripe. This is gonna be ready probably this afternoon. Apparently this is a cross between a red and a black raspberry. It's very sweet. The taste is very sweet when you take it in, and then it has a kind of tart aftertaste. It's really, really good. Well, nothing is as good as a freshly picked raspberry straight off the plant. Now, speaking of berries, I also am trying to establish a couple of unusual things here. Anyway, you don't find these at the grocery store. This is a currant. It's a pink champagne currant. The fruits are almost about ready. It's a tiny plant, just like what I said. Like, just like my raspberries, they were just like little plugs I got last year. But it's thriving. It's fruiting. I'm happy. Another unusual plant is a gooseberry. This is a Hinonmaki red gooseberry. I hope I said that right. It's the thing with gooseberries is that most people don't really like it because it's a thorny plant. So I'm just planting it on the edge, keeping it away from everything. My daughter knows how to stay away from these, and I actually got one single fruit developing on this. You see this one? It's gonna turn more into a reddish color as it ripens, but hey, I got one. I probably would be able to get a taste of gooseberry this year. But these are the new stalks, the new growth. And these are where the fruits are gonna be coming out from next year. Gooseberries flower on year-old wood, which is what these are gonna be next year. And I'm hoping that this is gonna be covered with flowers and fruits by next summer. Well, I just gave you a little tour of my garden area, but no garden video is complete without a harvest, right? So we're gonna harvest potatoes. These potatoes are starting to look dead, so I am going to pull them. I already have tomatoes growing right next to it, and they're already flowering, so this is gonna make way for, gonna give space for the tomatoes to grow. I planted these early in the season. They didn't really grow very big because we had a late freeze in May, and so they got stunted. Anyway, I love harvesting potatoes because it's like a treasure hunt. So let's see if there is any potatoes here so I can make some potato. Ooh! These are my purple potatoes. I've been growing them for a long time. I grew this originally from a bag of Trader Joe's varied potatoes while we were in LA, and they like look like rocks. And what I've found is that these purple potatoes are the most vigorous. They grow so vigorously in the garden, and they always are a reliable crop for me. So I practice chop and drop. So whatever I pull out, I basically just throw them back, mostly around the area where I harvested it from. Now potatoes, there's more. There we go. There's more. Is that it? I hope there's more. I guess that's it for that plant. Okay, we'll do this one. Oh, this one. I gotta show you this one. Have you ever seen a potato?
Start again.
No.
Go.
Okay. Have you ever seen this? It looks like those pea eggplants that you get from Thai restaurant, but this is actually the fruit of a potato. And this is where you get true seeds or a new variety of potato from. So potatoes, eggplants, tomatoes, peppers are from the same family. They're called the nightshade family. And so that's why this looks like a tiny eggplant. And this is it for our harvest today. I'm planning to make something yummy with this and the garlic. And so if you would like to see what I make with these potatoes, click on the link, like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.